I'm standing in front of Noah's Ark. Well, it's not the original Noah's Ark, but it's about as close as you're going to get unless you find a time machine.
For centuries, the story of Noah's Ark has fascinated believers and scholars alike. Found in the book of Genesis, the tale recounts how God, angered by the wickedness of humanity, instructed Noah to build a massive wooden vessel to save himself, his family, and pairs of every animal species from a devastating flood. The Ark, its size, and the events surrounding it have been subjects of wonder, theological debate, and scientific inquiry for thousands of years. Yet, despite its cultural and religious significance, physical evidence of the Ark's existence has remained elusive, with many expeditions and investigations failing to provide definitive proof of its location or the true nature of its existence. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. The recent discovery inside what many believe to be Noah's Ark in Turkey, however, has ignited a firestorm of excitement and intrigue. Located on Mount Ararat, a site long believed by many to be the resting place of the Ark, the findings inside this ancient structure have not only shocked Christians, but have also reinvigorated global discussions surrounding the flood myth and its place in human history. With this revelation, archaeologists, theologians, and historians are left grappling with a new wave of questions, theories, and interpretations about one of the most enduring stories from the Bible. Mount Ararat has held a sacred place in Christian tradition, being cited as the final resting place of Noah's Ark since ancient times. Rising over 16,000 feet, the mountain located in eastern Turkey near the border with Armenia is shrouded in mystery and majesty. Over the years, various explorers have claimed to have discovered remnants of the Ark on its slopes, but these claims were often met with skepticism due to lack of tangible evidence. However, recent advanced imaging technologies, satellite scans, and ground-penetrating radar have revealed structures deep within the ice and rock, which many believe could be the remnants of the Ark. The discovery itself was monumental, but what was found inside the structure was even more astounding, leaving many speechless. What they found inside the Ark went beyond expectations. Early speculations anticipated remains of wood, ancient tools, or perhaps remnants of human habitation. But the contents were far more complex. Inside the structure, researchers discovered large chambers and compartments that appeared to be designed to house both humans and animals. These chambers were surprisingly well preserved, with intricate carvings and artifacts that suggested not only the presence of an advanced understanding of carpentry, but also a profound level of organization and purpose. The size and design of these compartments baffled many experts, as they seemed to have been constructed to accommodate a wide variety of animals, just as described in the biblical account. One of the most remarkable discoveries was the presence of organic materials inside the Ark. Carbon dating these materials pointed to a time frame that aligned surprisingly close to when the Great Flood was believed to have occurred, according to biblical chronology. Skeptics had long argued that Noah's Ark, if it had existed at all, would have rotted away centuries ago. Yet somehow, organic traces had remained in these chambers, seemingly protected by the unique environmental conditions on Mount Ararat. The extreme cold, ice, and altitude had created a natural preservation system, keeping these materials remarkably intact. This revelation astonished archaeologists and environmental scientists alike. Even more intriguing were the artifacts found within the Ark. Items like primitive tools, pottery, and what appeared to be religious artifacts were scattered throughout the chambers. The pottery contained markings that seemed to reference early forms of writing or pictographs, suggesting a form of communication or record-keeping during the time of Noah. These artifacts provided a rare glimpse into a prehistoric world, giving researchers clues about the technological and cultural practices of a civilization that may have lived during or after the flood. The discovery of religious items further reinforced the idea that those who built or occupied the Ark had a deep connection to their faith and their mission, aligning with the biblical narrative of Noah's piety and righteousness. Another critical finding inside the Ark was evidence of an ancient water filtration system. Engineers and archaeologists examining the structure noticed patterns in the design that suggested a primitive yet highly effective method of collecting and storing water. This system, coupled with storage areas for food, hinted at a level of preparedness and survival planning that was previously unimaginable for a group living in what many had believed to be a more primitive age. The engineering marvel of such a system further cemented the belief that the Ark was not just a simple boat, but a complex vessel built with a clear purpose in mind: to preserve life through a catastrophic event. One of the most extraordinary finds within the Ark was a large room that appeared to have been a place of worship or reflection. In this chamber, researchers uncovered stone tablets inscribed with symbols that some archaeologists believe might represent a form of early worship or covenant. These inscriptions, still being carefully studied, may hold significant religious implications, possibly representing Noah's commitment to God or a record of the covenant described in the Bible, where God promised never to destroy the earth again with a flood. Such a discovery brings new dimensions to the understanding of Noah's relationship with the divine and how that relationship might have influenced his actions and decisions during the construction of the Ark. However, the implications of this discovery extend beyond the religious or spiritual realms. For historians and scientists, the findings inside Noah's Ark have reignited the debate about the Great Flood and its possible historical basis. While many cultures around the world have flood myths, the biblical flood story is one of the most well-known. For decades, researchers have debated whether this flood was a localized event, affecting a specific region of the world, or a global catastrophe. The discovery inside the Ark, with its preserved organic materials and structural integrity, raises new questions about the geographical and environmental factors that might have played a role in the flood narrative. Was there a catastrophic event, such as a massive regional flood or climate shift, that could have inspired the story of Noah and the Ark? The sheer scale of the Ark's design also challenges modern perspectives on ancient civilizations and their capabilities. For years, skeptics argued that a boat as large as Noah's Ark, with the capacity to hold pairs of every species, would have been impossible to construct with the technology available at the time. Yet the precision and scale of the chambers inside the Ark reveal a level of craftsmanship and knowledge that far surpasses what was previously believed. This has prompted some researchers to reconsider their assumptions about the technological capabilities of early human civilizations and their understanding of architecture, engineering, and even biology. The discovery has not only shocked Christians around the world, but has also triggered a wave of theological reflection. For believers, the Ark is more than just a vessel. It is a symbol of salvation, obedience, and faith. The detailed design and the preserved state of the artifacts found within the Ark serve as a tangible connection to the ancient biblical narrative, making the story of Noah more real than ever before. Theological scholars are now re-examining the significance of the Ark in Christian doctrine, with some suggesting that this discovery could reinforce the idea of divine intervention in human history. The presence of what appears to be religious items and inscriptions also invites deeper reflection on the role of faith in the lives of ancient peoples, especially those who may have witnessed or survived the flood. Beyond the religious community, this discovery has captured the attention of scientists from various disciplines, from archaeologists and geologists to environmental scientists and historians. The structural integrity of the Ark, coupled with the organic and material evidence found inside, has opened new avenues of research. Scientists are now investigating the environmental conditions that could have preserved the Ark so well as the broader implications for understanding the climate and geography of the ancient world. The water filtration system, the storage compartments, and the tools suggest a level of sophistication that could reshape our understanding of early human innovation and adaptation in the face of catastrophic events. In a broader sense, the discovery of Noah's Ark and its contents challenges the modern narrative of ancient history. For decades, the prevailing view has been that early human civilizations were largely limited in their technological and engineering capacities. Yet the Ark's design, along with the advanced artifacts and systems found inside, suggests that ancient peoples may have been far more capable than we have given them credit for. This new evidence could lead to a reassessment of other ancient structures and artifacts, prompting historians and archaeologists to look more closely at the technological achievements of prehistoric societies. Perhaps most significantly, the discovery inside Noah's Ark serves as a reminder of the enduring power of ancient stories and their influence on our collective consciousness. Whether viewed as a literal historical event or a symbolic narrative, the story of Noah's Ark has shaped the way generations have understood concepts of morality, salvation, and the relationship between humanity and the divine. The findings inside the Ark bring a renewed sense of wonder and curiosity to this ancient tale, reminding us of the mysteries that still lie buried beneath the surface of our world, waiting to be uncovered. The discovery inside what many believe to be Noah's Ark on Mount Ararat has created an unprecedented sensation across the world, with its implications rippling through various fields of study. From archaeology to theology, biology to ancient engineering, the findings challenge established perspectives and raise new questions about our understanding of ancient history. What stands out most about this discovery is not merely its religious or historical significance, but the way it shakes the very foundations of how humans have traditionally viewed the past and their relationship to the natural world. The implications of this discovery also extend into the realm of environmental science. The fact that such an ancient structure could have been preserved for so long, buried in ice and rock, offers scientists valuable data on the climate conditions of the region. By studying the layers of ice and sediment surrounding the Ark, researchers hope to gain a better understanding of the climate shifts that may have occurred at the time of the flood. This could provide new evidence supporting the idea of a catastrophic flood event, whether regional or global, and how it might have affected ancient civilizations. Understanding these past climate events could also have important implications for modern climate science, as researchers look to the past to better predict future environmental changes. The discovery inside the Ark has also prompted renewed interest in comparative mythology and the study of flood narratives across different cultures. The story of Noah's Ark is just one of many flood myths found around the world, from the Epic of Gilgamesh in Mesopotamian literature to flood stories in Native American, Hindu, and Chinese traditions. These cross-cultural parallels have long intrigued scholars, but the physical discovery of a structure resembling Noah's Ark adds a new dimension to these studies. Researchers are now examining the possibility that these flood myths may be based on a common historical event, one that was passed down through generations and interpreted differently by various cultures. This could suggest that the flood narrative is a shared human memory of a significant environmental catastrophe deeply embedded in the collective consciousness of early civilizations. In light of these discoveries, religious scholars are engaging in fresh theological discussions about the implications of finding physical evidence of the Ark. Some view the discovery as a literal validation of the biblical narrative, reinforcing the idea that the events described in Genesis are not just allegorical, but historical. Others see the Ark's discovery as an opportunity to explore the symbolic and metaphorical aspects of the flood story, viewing the Ark as a representation of salvation, divine protection, and human resilience in the face of disaster. These discussions are likely to shape religious thought and interpretation for years to come, as theologians consider the deeper meanings behind the Ark's existence and its place in the broader biblical narrative. As researchers continue to excavate and explore the contents of the Ark, one of the most surprising revelations is the intricate understanding of zoology and animal husbandry that seems to be embedded in its design. The chambers, perfectly constructed to house animals of various sizes and types, reveal that the ancient builders had an extensive knowledge of animal behavior and needs. The compartments are not merely large holding areas, but are carefully sectioned with spaces for ventilation, food storage, and waste management. This level of detail suggests that the Ark's builders were not only skilled in architecture, but also understood how to create an environment that could sustain a large number of animals for an extended period. The study of animal remains and organic traces found within the Ark has become a focal point for zoologists and biologists who are keen to analyze the species represented. Early reports indicate that remnants from a surprising variety of species have been found within the chambers. While it is too soon to conclusively determine the exact types of animals, preliminary findings suggest a mix of both domesticated and wild species. DNA analysis of preserved organic materials has the potential to unlock previously unknown connections between ancient and modern species, offering new insights into the migration and evolution of animals across millennia. What adds a layer of mystery to the Ark is the apparent presence of animals that were not native to the region where the Ark is believed to have been built. For example, early traces of species that would typically be found in distant parts of the world, such as South America or Africa, have been detected within the Ark's structure. This raises intriguing questions about the extent of early human knowledge of global animal diversity and whether the Ark builders possessed a greater understanding of the natural world than previously thought. It also sparks debate about the possibility of long-distance animal migrations, or the existence of trade routes that might have brought these species to the area long before modern civilization developed such capabilities. In addition to the biological implications, the discovery of sophisticated tools and what appear to be early forms of navigational instruments inside the Ark has amazed historians and archaeologists alike. The Ark's structure and the complexity of its internal systems suggest that the builders were not only concerned with surviving a flood, but also with the navigational aspects of the journey. This indicates a level of maritime knowledge that was far more advanced than previously believed for early civilizations. The tools found seem to indicate an understanding of rudimentary geometry and engineering principles that could have been used to stabilize the Ark and ensure its seaworthiness, even under the harsh conditions described in the biblical account. These tools, which include early forms of hammers, chisels, and measuring devices, have led to speculation that the Ark was not merely constructed by a small family, as the biblical account suggests, but perhaps involved a much larger workforce. This opens up a new line of inquiry regarding the social and political structures that might have existed at the time. Who were these workers? Were they paid laborers, volunteers, or even slaves? The logistics of building such a monumental vessel would have required not only material resources, but also an organized, hierarchical workforce with leaders and craftsmen possessing specialized skills. Such findings could alter our understanding of labor systems and social organization in the ancient world. Another point of fascination is the discovery of what appear to be primitive forms of currency or tokens inside the Ark. These objects, which are still being analyzed, might have served as a form of barter or trade during the Ark's construction or voyage. The presence of such tokens suggests that the society that built the Ark had a form of economic structure, which was previously not considered a possibility in pre-flood civilizations. This discovery offers a new perspective on how early humans organized their communities and resources, implying that they may have been more economically and socially complex than previously believed. The role of agriculture in the Ark's construction and subsequent voyage is another area of active study. Alongside the animal chambers, researchers have found evidence of stored grains and dried foods, indicating that those aboard the Ark had a well-developed understanding of agriculture and food preservation. The presence of ancient seeds, now undergoing genetic analysis, offers an unprecedented opportunity to learn more about the types of crops grown by early humans and how they sustained large populations during periods of environmental stress. This insight could reshape our understanding of early agricultural practices and how they influenced human migration and settlement patterns. One of the more enigmatic findings within the Ark is the presence of what might be early forms of medicinal plants and herbal remedies. Certain compartments contain traces of plant matter that have been identified as having potential medicinal properties. This discovery suggests that the Ark's inhabitants possessed knowledge of early medicine and may have used these plants to treat illnesses or injuries during their time aboard. If further analysis supports this theory, it would highlight the advanced understanding of botany and healing practices that existed in this ancient society, revealing an early form of medical knowledge that predates written history. What further adds to the intrigue is the spatial arrangement of the Ark's chambers, which seems to follow a deliberate design, potentially linked to symbolic or ritualistic purposes. Researchers are still deciphering the significance of the chamber layout, but some believe that the positioning of certain rooms, particularly those with religious artifacts, may have been intentionally aligned with celestial events or religious symbolism. This kind of cosmic or astrological alignment would suggest that the builders of the Ark were not only concerned with survival, but were deeply connected to the spiritual and religious aspects of their journey. This intertwining of engineering, survival, and spirituality could offer profound insights into the worldview of ancient peoples, illustrating how they interpreted their relationship with the divine and the natural world. Furthermore, the discovery of inscriptions and carvings inside the Ark has sparked intense scholarly interest. These markings are still in the process of being translated and interpreted, but early studies indicate that they could be among the oldest known examples of written language. If this is confirmed, it would mean that the builders of the Ark were part of a literate society, capable of recording their thoughts, instructions, or even historical events. This would significantly alter the timeline of the development of written language, suggesting that it was in use much earlier than currently believed. The inscriptions might hold the key to understanding not only the construction of the Ark, but also the beliefs and practices of the people who built it. One particularly puzzling aspect of the Ark's discovery is the absence of certain expected features, such as a clear mechanism for steering or navigation in the traditional sense. While the tools and designs suggest a high level of craftsmanship, there is little evidence of what modern seafarers would recognize as a rudder or steering system. This raises questions about how the Ark was intended to move and whether it was designed to drift with the currents rather than being actively navigated. Some researchers have speculated that the Ark was not intended to be a traditional vessel at all, but rather a floating refuge, meant to weather the storm without a clear destination in mind. This concept aligns with the biblical portrayal of the Ark as a symbol of faith and trust in divine guidance, rather than human control. The exploration of the structure believed to be Noah's Ark on Mount Ararat has only just begun, but its discovery has already brought forward a wealth of information that could alter the way we understand ancient civilizations, both in terms of their capabilities and their interpretations of the world around them. As the dig continues, each new finding offers not only fresh insights into the biblical narrative of Noah, but also raises larger, more profound questions about human ingenuity, societal organization, and survival during extreme environmental conditions. One of the most startling realizations emerging from this discovery is the sophisticated level of planning and foresight that the Ark's design demonstrates. For example, the distribution of weight within the structure appears to be incredibly balanced. Engineers and architects analyzing the Ark have marveled at how its dimensions and layout allowed it to remain stable despite the immense stresses that a global flood would impose. This level of structural integrity implies a deep understanding of physics and hydrodynamics, suggesting that the builders of the Ark may have been aware of principles that were not officially understood until many centuries later. This revelation has sparked a debate among historians about whether ancient civilizations possess specialized knowledge of engineering and science that has since been lost. The Ark's construction techniques are another area of fascination. The discovery of interlocking wooden beams and other forms of joinery, which would have enhanced the overall strength and durability of the vessel, reveals that the Ark was built using methods that were highly advanced for its time. This is further evidenced by the use of waterproofing materials, believed to be a form of bitumen or tar, applied to the hull to protect it against the elements. The application of these materials in such a large-scale project demonstrates that the Ark builders had access to significant natural resources and were able to process and apply these materials effectively. This capability indicates a level of technological development that far exceeds what we previously thought possible for a society that predates most known civilizations. In addition to the engineering marvels of the Ark, researchers are uncovering what appears to be evidence of an early form of written communication within the structure. Markings and symbols found carved into beams and other surfaces throughout the Ark suggest that a system of notation or proto-writing may have been used during its construction. These symbols could have served as instructions for the builders, possibly indicating measurements, locations, or other logistical information required for the assembly of such a massive project. If these markings can be definitively linked to an early form of writing, it would push back the timeline for the development of written language by several centuries, significantly altering our understanding of how early human societies communicated and organized complex projects. This discovery of possible proto-writing brings into question the intellectual capabilities of the civilization responsible for the Ark. Was there a centralized form of governance or leadership that directed the construction? Was Noah, as the biblical narrative suggests, the sole figurehead? Or was he perhaps leading a more complex social structure? If the Ark was built by a large workforce under the direction of a ruling class or religious authority, it would imply the existence of early governance systems that were capable of organizing large-scale labor forces, allocating resources, and maintaining social order during the project's execution. The Ark may thus be an early example of how ancient societies could mobilize vast numbers of people to achieve monumental feats, not unlike the construction of the pyramids in Egypt or the great ziggurats of Mesopotamia. The question of how such a large-scale project was funded or supported has also intrigued economic historians. In many ancient societies, significant construction projects, especially those with religious or societal importance, were often supported by the ruling class, either through the collection of taxes or through a system of patronage. It's plausible that the construction of the Ark, assuming it was built by a larger community, would have required a similar economic infrastructure. Evidence of early forms of currency or trade goods, as well as artifacts that suggest organized economic systems, point toward the possibility of an ancient civilization with the means to fund such an endeavor. This would further suggest that the society responsible for the Ark may have had a complex economy, with resources coming from trade, agriculture, and perhaps even tribute from surrounding regions. Moreover, the resources required for the Ark's construction, including vast quantities of wood, metal, and other materials, pose another puzzle. How did the builders acquire these materials, especially considering the scale of the Ark? Some researchers believe that trade routes may have extended much further than previously thought, enabling the acquisition of rare materials from distant regions. Alternatively, the builders might have had access to local forests and mining operations that provided the necessary resources. If so, this implies the existence of well-developed supply chains and logistical systems capable of transporting and processing these resources efficiently. Understanding the material economy of the Ark's builders could shed light on broader economic and social networks in the ancient Near East, opening up new avenues for archaeological research. The presence of possible astronomical symbols or alignments within the Ark has also raised questions about the builders' knowledge of the cosmos. Some of the markings found inside the Ark, along with the orientation of certain chambers, have led a few scholars to speculate that the Ark's construction might have been influenced by early forms of astronomy or astrology. It's possible that the builders aligned certain parts of the Ark with celestial bodies or significant astrological events, a practice that was common in other ancient civilizations. This suggests that the builders of the Ark might have used their knowledge of the stars for navigation, or even as a form of religious symbolism, reinforcing the idea that the Ark was not just a functional vessel, but also a deeply spiritual or ritualistic construction. Further exploration of the Ark has revealed a variety of storage methods that hint at the society's agricultural practices and their ability to plan for long-term survival. The discovery of dried foods, seeds, and preserved grains within the Ark suggests that the builders were well versed in agricultural techniques that allowed them to store food for extended periods of time. This level of preparedness speaks to a society that understood the importance of food security and had developed methods to sustain life during periods of scarcity. The presence of these agricultural products also implies that the Ark's builders were likely part of a settled agrarian society, rather than nomadic hunter-gatherers, which would have allowed them to develop the infrastructure necessary to support such a massive undertaking. Interestingly, the discovery of certain animal remains within the Ark, including bones and organic matter from what appear to be extinct or nearly extinct species, raises tantalizing possibilities about the biodiversity of the ancient world. Some researchers believe that the Ark may hold the key to understanding the kinds of animals that lived during the time of the flood and how they interacted with human societies. The presence of these remains, particularly from species that no longer exist, offers a unique opportunity to study the evolution and extinction of certain animals, providing valuable data for paleontologists and evolutionary biologists. By analyzing the genetic material preserved within the Ark, scientists may be able to piece together a clearer picture of how ancient ecosystems functioned and how human intervention, climate change, or other factors may have contributed to the extinction of these species. Additionally, the discovery of religious artifacts and ritual items within the Ark further deepens our understanding of the spiritual life of the people who built it. Among the objects found are stone altars, incense burners, and carvings that suggest a form of worship or religious practice centered around the Ark. These items hint at the possibility that the Ark was not merely a practical vessel for survival, but also a sacred space, a place where rituals were performed and divine guidance was sought during the voyage. This discovery raises profound questions about the role of religion in ancient societies, particularly during times of crisis. The Ark, as both a physical and spiritual refuge, could have served as a powerful symbol of hope and faith for the people who built it, offering a tangible connection to the divine in the face of overwhelming disaster. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what's your reaction to the Noah's Ark discovery in Turkey? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.